Hi everyone, welcome back to this channel. In this quick video, I'm going to show you the effects of leaf blower and also some of the motorized equipments that's running around and how it can cause interference in the RF wall. So with me right now, I have a couple of items to test out. So I have a leaf blower, a very old type massager, and also a vacuum cleaner. Whenever any of these equipment turn on, like the leaf blower, you start seeing some interference over this area. So I won't go up to 50 gig because the DC or AC motor doesn't cause that much interference on the high frequency. So let's start at 5 gig and let's start at 10 meg. So right now you get some ambient noise here with 433 signal, LTE, 2.4 gig ISM band, things like that. So before that, let's turn on the preamp, reduce down that. So you can see that there's some activities happening here. So I'm going to turn on the leaf blower, the small handheld kind, and I'm going to blow towards outside and you will see some activities happening over here. Again, you're going to see these two areas is more significant. So we're going to zoom in on this area to start with because there's not so much activities over here. So we're going to focus on this area right now. Let's turn on the marker and just to find out where is that range. So we're looking at about 1.3 gig. So let's set the center frequency 1.3 gig. Let's turn down the span and let's test out again. So you can see some activities jumping up and down whenever I turn on the leaf blower. So does it cause a significant problem? It all depends on whether you are using this band or the band before. So currently we're just focusing on this side. So another thing that we can try on is to identify what type of signal. It could be a pulse. It looks like pulse because it's moving about. And the one I want to try out right now is to set the trigger. Because right now it's still hit and miss because that signal might be faster than 28 milliseconds. Let's go to trigger. Free run video. Let's go down to... Okay, so it says that it's not on the step. So if it's not on the stat, then go back to here. Is it 0 span right now? Yes, 0 span. Video. Let's turn it on. So you can see that in time domain, which is 0 span right now, there's some activities happening at a good interval. It could be because of the driver that drives that motor to rotate, and this might be the one that causing that problem. So let's go to another signal. So I just try it again and you can see some activities over there. Let's look at another band. Let's go to span, last span, this 1.3. Let's increase the span. We want to look at this area. So 550 and center span, let's lower it down. Let's try it out. So you can still see some activities around this region. So the next thing I want to do is to turn on the trigger. Okay, how do I change that? So we change the sweep type to FFT instead of step. Then trigger video, it's about -60. Maybe a bit lower. I'll turn it on right now. You can see that all these activities happens when the signal is up and quite close to the trigger level, and all this is caused by the turning on of that leaf blower. We can always change back to the 0 span to see what's going on, and then they want to change its resolution bandwidth to the highest because we want to see how the pulse look like. So it's still triggering an update as it goes. The other one that you can do is this. Let's change the trigger setting to a bit higher. Quite a good interval when it happens. And the other one that I can try is to turn on the sweep. You can see that there's a pattern of how the signal transmitted from that leaf blower. So again, this is one of the ways to do it, and this is for the leaf blower. Let's change back the trigger type, and just a summary before we move on to the handheld massager. And let's go back to 0, FFT is limited, doesn't matter. So this is the range, and let's increase that span before we turn on the portable massager. Alright, let's turn on the bandwidth to a bit higher. Nope, it doesn't work. Let's set it to auto. Yep. So I'm going to turn on the massager right now to see whether that's affecting the same range. So you can see that there's a lot of activities happening. You might ask whether those are happening just at interval at frequency, which I suspect is not, because we are doing the sweep right now and it just hit and miss. To capture the whole effect of that massager, the interference, we want to turn on that trigger. Let's go to trigger. So it's a bit too high. Okay, and again it says that we can't use FFT. Let's go to, yeah, it's about that. I'll turn it on right now, so then you can see that when you trigger, start measuring the whole chunks. So what happens here is that when there's a signal close to the threshold, and this is the whole effect of that interference from the massager, and it's not just hit and miss like what you see initially. Apparently this massager does cause a lot of interference. We can actually turn on the time domain again and have a quick look. I'm going to do it again. So you can see that there's another type of pattern, because this is an AC motor, and use different type of method to run the motor. See, but it's at the right interval. So at least we know that this is from the effects from the motor. So the next thing I want to do, let's turn back the frequency, sweep, turn off, and this is just a spectrum. I'm going to turn on the vacuum cleaner. So it seems like there's no interference from the vacuum cleaner. I just turn it on and there's no activities over here. It might be that we are not looking at the right band, but let's give it a try. 10 gigs too wide. Let's start with 10 meg. About that. FFT is just too slow. Let's go to here. Start. 200k. Let's start at 5 gig. Happy with that. Trigger free roll. So it looks like the vacuum cleaner is quite clean. It doesn't emit any interference to the environment. So there you have it. It's just one thing that bothers me whenever I turn on the leaf blower or the portable massager. It just causes some interference to some of the communications. So we know that it happens around this 1.3 and also about 500 meg. So this is something to consider whenever you are out in the field doing some measurements. Try not to bring any of the motorized equipment that might cause some interference. Hope this out. Thanks for watching.